I know I may get some criticisms concerning this particular garden egg stew recipe. Yes, I'm ready for it, okay? But today I'm showing you how I make my garden egg stew without artificial seasoning and all these fermented fish or stockfish on the Ghanaian market, okay? So do stay with me and let's do this together. I'm sure you're going to love this recipe once it's done. It's very simple, okay? So in my saucepan, I'm going to heat up a bit of palm oil. And mind you, this is sort of like a healthier version of already healthy garden egg stew. So I'm going to saute some onions as well. You can tell I didn't use too much palm oil. So I'll be frying my onions for about 2 to 3 minutes, nothing extra, okay? So once that is done, I'll go ahead and add my blended ginger, onions, garlic. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Yasmi, and this is my kitchen taste and bloom where I share very simple recipes. Okay, so now I've added my blended aromatics. I'm going to give this a stir and allow this to cook on low heat for about 5 minutes. So my intention is to sort of like fry the onions to release its sweetness. Okay, if you've watched the video till this end, thank you so much, first of all. Please give me a thumbs up on the video so that YouTube will continue to recommend my videos to others to watch, okay? The thumbs up button is below the video. It says like, so just click on it and continue watching the video, okay? So my onions have done beautifully well. I'm going to go ahead and add some blended tomatoes and pepper. Once again, if you know me on this channel, you know we don't take too much pepper at home. So most of the time for my recipes, I blend my pepper with my tomatoes. Okay, so I'll give that a good mix and allow this to cook for about 5 extra minutes. We don't want any tanginess in the stew as well. So make sure you're cooking down your tomatoes beautifully. And then it will also reduce the moisture content of the stew, okay? And that is what we are going for at this point. So this is about 7 minutes later. The stew is doing well. As you can see, the moisture content has reduced nicely. I'm going to go ahead and stir and then we'll add something else. But before then, let me show you my cooked garden eggs and turkey berries, which I'm going to be blending, okay? You can grind this. I don't like it to be chunky in the stew, okay? That's why I blend it. And then I'll go ahead and add it into my stew. So I know a lot of people prefer their garden eggs to have the chunkiness in there, but I don't like it that way, okay? And don't judge. I mean, okay, you're free to judge, okay? But then when I add it, I give it a good mix and then cover and allow this to continue, okay? And also, you realize that I didn't use any momone or kobe. First of all, this stew is low sodium, okay? You can tell by the amount of salt I'm adding. I'm being a little chisel with the salt. I don't want to go too much into the sodium bit, but I don't want too much salt into this stew, okay? So once that goes in, I'm going to cover and then allow it to simmer for a few more minutes. And then when I open up, I'm going in with some cooked willy or more like our Nigerian siblings call it, okay? So I cooked the willy with a bit of salt to soften it up a bit before adding it into the stew. But I wanted the flavor of the willy, if I would say it that way, to get into the stew as well. Okay, so that's why I'm adding it at this point so that it will simmer together with it. Okay, this willy was so needless, but I wanted it in the stew, so I added it anyway. Okay, and now in my previous video, I shared how I prep my agushi or egusi for my meals. Okay, this is the paste form, so that's what I'm adding into the stew. So if you've not watched that video, please go ahead and check it out after you are done watching this video. Okay, so I'll cover and allow it to cook a bit on low heat for about 5 minutes before going in to give this a stir. Agushi can be a bit problematic, so please cook it down properly. But in my agushi video, you realize I sort of like toasted it a bit, okay? That helps cut short the cooking time a bit and slightly cooks it before you get to this stage, okay? So when I added my agushi, I gave it 5 minutes and then added in my tuna. So this tuna is salted slightly, like it has a bit of salt, but not from the market, but naturally it's a bit salty. So that is why I reduced the quantity of salt I used earlier. Okay. So once it goes in, it will sort of like seep a bit of its sodium content into the stew, making it more tasty. Okay, so I'll cover and then give it an extra 5 minutes on low heat, and then go ahead and give it a gentle stir. I didn't want to break the agushi too much. Okay, that's why I'm being extra gentle with the stew. Of course, you can add in some eggs if you like. Usually, if I'll add eggs, I add it into the agushi and then mix it up before pouring the agushi into the stew. Okay. And oh, the agushi also had a bit of salt in there, just tiny bit of salt. It helps for it to curdle, like become chunky, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'll give it a stir, and basically our stew is ready, but just leave it to simmer for about 5 minutes, and you are free to serve it with whatever you want. Usually we eat it with some boiled yam or plantain. I know some people who have this with even boiled rice. Let me know what you think about this, my garden egg stew recipe, okay? And let me know what you do differently with yours as well. And until I see you again in another video, please don't forget to keep blooming.